Hello everybody and welcome to SLR T1, and this is round 10 of our T1 Championship, and we are returning to Silverstone once again. The fast and fluid track, the first track in fact to feature on an F1 calendar many moons ago, but we're here in the age of the coronavirus these days, and that's probably affected our numbers because everyone's isolated and stuck with their consoles instead of pretending to be busy. So we've got 17 drivers today, which is an improvement. We're in the middle of qualifying at the moment. It's getting a little bit dark actually out there. We're currently here with Surface on pole, unsurprisingly, the defending champion. But Millix has set the exact same time as Surface. I actually watched both of their laps, and they were pretty damn quick from where I was sitting. I think there's a few tenths in it though, as neither of them have actually given up the ghost on it. But very unlucky for Millix for setting the second time in that one. We've got Dome just under a tenth back in, and after that it's kind of everybody else. Clervo, Connor, Dario, Blunt, all within a tenth of each other. CYP, Pirate, there or thereabouts as well. And then the over second gang of Wesley, who decided to start racing this week, with No Way, Jose, Skin Up, Carlsbury, Baby Shark, Parish, Tim Hall, and Calkers, the surprising person at the moment. Yet set a time, I'm presuming he's invalidated it a few times. So we'll go on board with Dome V, who's in the middle of his lap, going through Maggots, Beckett's Chapel and onto the Hangar Straight. I'm just gonna make a tweet of the stream, and I'll just be right back. But on board with Dome at the moment. Will he be able to get anywhere near pole position? He's backed off, it looks like, or has he? I don't think he has. And there he is, we're 25.8, and that is provisional pole position. He'd be trying to get some sort of a redemption for last week and all these penalties that he picked up. But he's, as you can see, this is the exact same time. That's crazy. He's currently the man who's on pole position. He just stole it there from the Racing Point and the Renault. Looking further back, we've got Clervo on a lap. We're kind of on half. Right, we'll go on board with the Pirate, who's currently out there. Trying to get a link for the stream. I'll be with you in a second. Let's get it out there. Right, sorry about that. Looking at the Pirate, we're going to keep on board with the Pirate as he finishes his lap. I think he's a little bit down there. I didn't quite see the back end of that, unfortunately. But going into the final section, he's got Tim Hall ahead of him, who's just starting up. So we'll get a bit of understeer through this last section, which will not do him a lot of favours. But he comes across the line, and I do believe, yeah, it was half a second improvement, but he invalidated it, so it would have got him within the second of the top of the timesheets. Calkers is currently P6. Clervo is retired, so he's given up the ghost of this qualifying session. On board with Connor, who's got really two goes at this if he doesn't like this lap in particular. But as he comes around the final few corners now, through, it looks like he's going to continue across the line. And I believe it was invalidated. In fact, I don't think it was. I think he did improve, but not by very much if he did. A tenth of a second, I believe. I saw it on the screen. We've got Surface currently out there on the lap. Millix is just starting his final attempt for pole position. We've got Blunt out there. Kalkas has retired and he's only in P7. That'll be very disappointing for the Finnish driver. And as he won last week on penalties, they'll be severely disappointed, but I don't think he did any practice at all for this race, according to what he said. But here comes Blunt round a few corners. Can he improve on his time and get anywhere near? He does get very close. He gets within half a second anyway, and that gets him into P4. And this is a track Blunt actually really likes, from what I've seen in the past. As Pirate retires from the session, CYP follows, and as they all cross the line, we've got a few people on laps. Baby Shark, Skin Up. Dario's improving. He's the furthest one round at the moment. We're going to go on board with the Italian. Will he be able to improve on his time and get anywhere close to pole? I think he improved, but not very much. Connor's backed off. Surface is unable to improve. That leaves just Millix Jr. on a lap. And will he be able to snatch the pole away from Doan? I mean, there's Connor as well, but he's not really on one. So it's all down to Millix in his racing point. He got pole last season, I believe. But here comes cross the line. Will he be able to get pole here today? No, he was 1,000ths down on his time, and that's incredibly consistent. We've done that time and then got 1,000ths off it. So he didn't find much more in the tank, but unfortunate for him. But it looks like it's Stone V claiming pole position for the British Grand Prix here in SLR, and by 0.2 of a second to the Renault of Surface, with Millix in P3, Blunt in P4, Clervo in the Torosso at P5, Connor P6, Kalkas P7, Dario, the Italian, in 8th, with CYP and Pirate rounding out the top 10. We're waiting for Connor to retire, really. There it is. Interesting qualifying. I expect the race to be fairly close actually, especially at the front. Pretty similar to last week. Maybe Blunt in it this time. He had a bit of an incident last week, I believe. So got kind of put him out of the running, but he's returned to form today, that's for sure. And so has Millix as well. He hasn't really been there or thereabouts, but Connor, who won the race on track, and the person who won it off the track, 6th and 7th at the moment on the grid. So that's going to be quite an effort for them to do anything in this race. There have to be some incidents, I believe, especially when you've got, let's say, Dario behind you, who's known for being a bit of somebody you don't really want to be around too much. I'm not saying he's a bad driver, but you don't particularly want to be around him. Can be quite aggressive. He's unpredictable. Sorry about that. Need to charge my headset because it's dying. But yeah, it should be a very interesting race. I'm sorry about the buzz as well, if you can hear that. It's not very nice. It should be a good race. Hopefully we can get some good action like we did in Austria. That was very tense by the end of the race. And hopefully it can just be as exciting. But my money probably will be on Surface. I mean, if I said anything otherwise, I'll be a bit thick. But Doan as well, he's put himself in the position, he just needs to execute it. I'm trying to put this dressing gown on, I'm failing miserably. There it is. But obviously we've got unknown quantities like Carlsberg. I've seen him winning in other leagues before. I don't know if that's with assists or anything. Obviously this being a no assist league, and that's what we're running today. So we are ready for the formation lap. I'm so confused what's going off here. Where's the formation lap? But we are racing apparently. I think we forgot to put the formation up on here. But Doan's got away nicely. I think Surface has been a bit startled. I would be as well, because I don't really know if Kalkas has been awake to this start. There's a few people haven't. Jose's already out, as I'm pretty sure he was unaware of it. That's ruined his race from this point of view. CYP's up into P6. He's getting very racy in that Alfa Romeo. He's pushing Blunt round. I don't know if Blunt knows about this, but Doan's away, and Yeah, it's been a bit of a mess. Clervo, I don't think has quite got it either. There's been a bit of an incident further back with him. Yeah, that's a bit of a disaster from an admin point of view. But looking at the race as we have it, we've got Doan leading, he got away cleanly. VRT Surface in second, Milix in P3, with Kalkas following behind in P4. He'll be very happy with his start, just chasing up the pack. Connor has slipped down to 10th, by the way. Carlsbury in P8. And we've got a few battles further behind. I think the two Haas drivers are coming together a little bit, Carlsbury and Wesley. And we'll see if they are making a move somewhere. There's Williams in behind of Connor. There's a bit of a gap between the top 7 and everybody else is starting to go, as Clervo is now out of the race as well. But as we head now down into turn 2, 3 and onto the straight, it looks like we're all maintaining positions at the moment. We're all in a bit of a zone at the minute. I think we've got into sector 3. Maybe it's just a retired car. We're on the safety car recently. We didn't have many retirements last week, so not expecting it. But we've had 2 in the opening 2 laps of this week's race. We've got Carlsbury on the back of Connor, who's now in P9. He's overtaken Carlsbury actually, and now he's chasing after Wesley. Baby Shark is out as well. There's Carlsbury's doing all sorts of sliding on them soft tyres. I'll get the tyres up. I haven't really had time to do anything because I didn't actually know we was not having a formation. No, come on. There, that's what I wanted. But looking further forward to the race, it looks like Kalkas is trying to get past Blunt into P4. It looks like he's going to try right around the outside. That's quite dangerous. And Blunt hit the side of him, but holds it. CYP sneaks past for P5. So a very nice move there for CYP, just carrying the speed. He's ran wide though. He's a bit of everywhere, to be honest. CYP as Blunt tries to get back past the Alfa Romeo driver. I'll stick on the outside view as Dario sticks his nose in as well. Blunt is just going backwards at this point in the race. Dario doesn't stick his nose into the point where he's going to hit somebody. But onto the straight now. Everybody's got DRS, so they're all training each other. Surface is taking the lead of the race, by the way. I didn't see that one. I think that's just happened on the straight as I was watching the battle in behind. We've got Milix still in P3 on the back of Doan. Doan needs to now just keep up with these guys. Kalkas as well, who runs a little bit wide through Cops and picks up a penalty, and so does CYP. So that's 2 people already with penalties on lap 3. Expect quite a few penalties in this race. As the gaps start to open up a little bit, especially to the top 9, let's say. And here goes Connor trying around the outside of Wesley. Wesley goes a little bit deep, and this is allowing Connor to do a bit of switchback. He's had to lift off the throttle a little bit, almost fading the throttle just not to hit the back of Wesley. We didn't give him much room, I have to admit. But as we head on to lap 2, expect a lot of overtakes, especially at the front of the field if Doan can get close enough. And here comes Connor into turn 1. That would be pretty brave. He's got the Pirate behind his. Carlsbury slipped outside the top 10 now as he picks up a penalty. But heading to the front of the field, the surface seems to have pulled a little bit of a gap on Doan. And I must admit, I'm using surface to set up for my race in a minute, so I kind of know the strengths and weaknesses of it. And straight line speed is pretty good, let's put it that way. As Doan now heads towards Cops, will they be able to get close enough? I'm going to look further back through the field, see if anything's happening between the midfield pack. It's Wesley's kind of at the back of this with Connor, who's again a little bit frustrated of this Blunt train almost. So I don't know if Blunt's got any damage to his front wing. Doesn't look like it, it's just pace at this point. CYP's in there as well. After his little bit of a penalty. Going into Stowe. Anything occurring? Doesn't look like it. Millix is getting a bit closer to the back of Doan. Look, he's really close to the McLaren driver. He fancies his chances today, you can see it. And Kalkas is not too far behind. He's floating about, waiting for the mistakes to happen. But on the straight, is anything going to happen? Doan isn't quite close enough to surface to make a move. And neither is Millix has got a shocking exit. Maybe just biding his time. He's saving a lot of ERS, whereas surface is using quite a lot. So that might be something. As Dario and CYP are going for a bit of a ding dong. I think CYP I made a little bit of a mistake, but going side by side through Brooklands. But he gets away with it, and it's a nice bit of racing between these two. Heading through Cops now. CYP is just going to get a shed load of understeer, and it's all he got, to be honest. As Connor's got past Wesley in the meantime, as he works his way up through the field. I'm kind of missing all of the overtakes at this point in the race. But here comes Connor on CYP. He'll be losing another position in a second. I think he knows this one's kind of inevitable. As he goes down the inside of CYP. CYP's not giving this one up. Right, fight. He's round the outside. But there's not a lot he can do, as he almost looks to the inside of the Williams, but gives it up in the end. As Doan sets the fastest lap of the race as he carries on his charge on surface, and it looks like now's his chance, because surface has got barely any ERS to use. Dario picks up his another penalty, I believe. I mean, you've got no ERS, you've got no straight line speed in the slightest. He's a little bit closer, but I don't think he's quite close enough. Neither is Millix. And Kalkas is just hanging on to the rear of this battle at the moment. Connor is now chasing after Dario as he makes his way through the field. And he's making a decent recovery of this. Outside that top four, he's the quickest driver, I believe, at this point in the race. I mean, Blunt is about a second up on Dario at the moment, and just going backwards. He can't quite keep up with the race pace of the top four at the moment. I'm sort of getting that breakaway phase what we did in the last race of just top four. Different four though. No Connor this time. Millix in this time. As Doan gets very close to the rear of surface, he's getting very interested. In the Renault. The Racing Point as well is just sitting behind as he hits the fastest lap of the race. Now Kalkas has got a nice brief of this, and that is a shocking camera angle if I've ever seen one of these three. Going on today, 4 different cars going for it. The CYP is in the pits for the hard tyres, interestingly enough. I don't know what he expects to do on them, as soon as it's a soft medium race, I believe. But surface still leads somehow. And Doan is saved up. Look how much ERS has got. It's just a right time he's trying to sit in the slipstream, as Wesley's had a bit of a incident. I believe he's had a bit of a spin because he's behind Carlsbury in the Pirate. Now back into P10. But the front guys are getting a bit interested, as Millix was a bit closer to Doan than I thought. But it's kind of a waiting game. Who's going to do the undercut? That's going to be an interesting thing as well. Who's going to do that undercut, I reckon. I mean, for Doan or Millix possibly. Millix is probably the person I'd look at and think maybe do a lap earlier. Especially third and fourth, they've got really not a lot to lose at this point in the race. Obviously Calcas has got a penalty. I don't believe any of the top 3 do. Surface has 1 warning, Doan has a warning, Milix has 2. And obviously Calcas has a penalty. But no one's really close enough to make an overtake, and Doan's not even pushing to make an overtake at this point. Because you know, no offence, being in the lead is quite a vulnerable position at this point in the race, because at the moment you can just sit back and save your ERS, and Surface is using all of it just to stay ahead. So it's damaging his race a little bit as well, and Doan's quite happily sitting in his slipstream. So Parrish picks up a penalty. And it looks like a move's coming now, as it looks like Doan's going to head around the outside of Surface for the lead of the race, but it doesn't work out, and he's going to lose a little bit of ground to Milix. Milix isn't really in a position to make a move though, although that's quite late on the brakes, but stopped a lot more abrupt than I thought it would. That racing point. As we head on now to lap 9, and we're getting towards the pit stop stage as Blunt decides to pit, and so does Dario. Milix picks up his first penalty into turn 1, interestingly enough. Which kind of makes it a 2-horse race for the race win. Interesting where they come out. CYP's plumb last at the moment. He's not going to come out too far behind, but he's not anywhere near. Mandara's going through there. He's about right. Oh, and Calcas has span in cops, and he hasn't collected anybody, and he's found that little bit of escape road, which he probably should have used instead of come back on track. That promotes Connor up into P4, and that 4-car train is now a 3-car train. And any strategy options to win this race, Calcas has just thrown out the window, really. But as we head on to lap 10, is anyone going to pit on this lap? Is Surface going to come in? Surface comes in, Doan comes in, and so does Milix. Milix gets a 5-second penalty for severe collision with Doan. I think that will be removed. I think that was a little bit on the harsh side. And they're going to come out 1, 2 and 3 again, aren't they? With Milix half a front wing when he came into pit lane, and obviously he couldn't do anything to fix it while he was coming down the pit lane. So this 3-horse fight is now 2 for sure, because Milix only has half a front wing on his car. It's like having 3 wheels on your wagon, really. But interesting enough, Surface has come out behind Tim Hall, and they are getting very close. And that should allow Doan to really get to the back of him as well, because he slowed him up. But I think Tim Hall is he's defending, and that makes things interesting. He didn't give that one up without a fight, that's for sure. And this could create a gap for Surface to drive off into and get out of that slipstream into the RS train. But Surface now close up to the rear of Parrish. It's interesting he can put Connor back into the podium as well. As Doan gets past Tim Hall, and Surface gets past Parrish there. Parrish was a lot easier to pass for Surface than Tim Hall was. A little bit more forgiving as Tim Hall pits, gets out of the way. And he still has to make this move now, does Doan, quick as he can. 'Cause 8 tenths is the gap. As Parish picks up a penalty for going really wide, and here comes Doan down the inside. Nicely done for Doan. Oh, Parish defends. And he taps him. But who's going to get the DRS? That's going to be very important. 2 into 1. Doan gets the DRS, and that's important for him. There's 1.6 seconds though between him and Surface. Surface new opportunity, but Doan has to use some of that ERS he's got now to close up to the back of the Renault, hopefully, and cause a little bit of a fight for this race. Walking further back, Milix is just sinking like a stone at the moment. He come out right behind Doan, and now he's nearly 3 seconds back. He'll be coming back into the pit lane, I'd imagine, unless he's just going to carry on. But it'll be all painful for him. CYP picks up another penalty. And CYP is now out of the race. That's 4 guys retiring. And the round of really fight is between these two at the moment. I'm keeping an eye on the gap to the lead. Obviously, Connor's yet to pit. He'll be on fresher tyres. So he's going for the Dove cut, almost like he did last week on surface. And he won the race by that, but I don't think he'll quite do that today, especially with the pit stop length being as long as it is. As big as 19 seconds is. And there goes Milix into the distance. Wow. Interesting. That is very interesting. Them two are friends, and I don't understand why this... I don't know if he went to defend and misjudged it. Or... I'm not sure, but Blunt has suffered his second retirement of the season in 2 consecutive rounds. For reasons I don't know, but the safety car is out. And that's worked a treat for Carlos, but he was leading this race. And can get in the pits and do something about this. And same with Parish, who just happens to be in P4. They're the biggest wins. Connor could have been leading this race if he'd have been 1 lap later on the safety car. This will help Doan close back up again. Calcas it'll help, because he's sort of in the middle of nowhere at the moment. And probably the biggest loser is Surface himself. And Carlsbury will pit, and I don't know if he'll come out in the lead or not. I don't believe he will. It'll be touch and go. But he's definitely going to come into the pits and go into the... I don't know what. Anyway, Carsbury come out in P7 in here, actually. That's a lot further down than I thought. Connor's picked up a 5-second stop and go for ignoring yellow flags. Interesting. P6. But yeah, as it goes, Dario's won out pretty well in this one. I'd say Connor is as well, if he gets his penalty removed. Obviously, I don't know what kind of penalty it was. But Doan is pushing Surface along under this safety car. Obviously Kalkas as well, who's kind of keeping his nose, except for that spin, has been kept his nose clean. And also he's on the same tyres as the front two. But he'll have to make some moves on the opening laps to get close to them. The safety car is staying out for another lap, so we're just going to be chilling at the moment. While everyone catches up. Milix has got a new front wing on him. It's kind of put a somber tone on the stream at the moment, that incident. Especially when you're the league owner and you start thinking about it. It's not very good, is it? Right, I believe we'll be getting going on this lap, so I need to start commentating, not looking at my phone. Yeah, so Surface's lead. This is a situation really. Carsbury's gone onto soft tyres. They will go to the end just about touch and go. That could be very interesting to watch, see if he can get a bit of extra pace in them tyres and challenge possibly. Kalka's in P5, has half a chance. Connor as well, who's 1.6 seconds off at the moment, needs to close up. Bless him. Also Parrish is on the soft tyres, trying to make the dream work. We don't know how this is going to end, but I reckon one of these front two are going to win it. But there's only one way to find out as we head now to green lights, and we're back racing again. Surface leads them away from Doan, and Kalkas, and is sleeping a little bit is Carlsbury, who's nearly 8 tenths behind Kalkas. Wesley is closing in on the Pirate, near 3 tenths between the two. Parrish trying to make a move on Wesley as well, and same with the racing points. Both of them are getting a bit feisty. Obviously Milik's on the mediums and Parrish on the soft tyres. But looking further forward, Connor is keeping up with whatever his name is, Dario, and Parrish has been overtaken by Milik, which is a bit what we expected. Now Milik is trying to make a move on Wesley, into Cop's corner. Will he be able to get enough slipstream to get close enough? I don't think so. He's just going to stick him behind with a little lift. Or is he? He's going to overtake him, is he? Not quite into Maggots and Beckett's. As Wesley picks up his penalty there. Into Chapel and onto the straight with a bit of DRS. And here comes Carsbury on Calkers, possibly. He's got some pace, it seems. I don't know if he's got it from... No, I don't think he has. But he's got a lot of pace in this early stages to make something happen, possibly. Connor's pushing Dario around at the moment, who's keeping up with Doan at the front two. The Pirate's already dropped off, so it's kind of a top 6 at the moment. I'm just kind of waiting for something to happen. Millix is still behind Wesley, actually. I'm quite surprised about that. It's kind of pushing that Haas along. Going through Cops again. Will anyone make a mistake? I just saw that sector 2 there. It's Tim Hall retiring from the session. There goes Carlbury into Chapel again. He's got so much more grip, you can just see it. Will he be able to get a bit of DRS? Is DRS open? I don't think it is. Not yet. And that's why Surface is sort of getting away a little bit from Doan. Taking his opportunity. Carlbury picks up a penalty in Stowe there, and he also locks up into quite a few corners. Not a good few corners for him. He struggles, and I think the DRS will reopen as Surface sets the fastest lap of the race so far on 8 lap old mediums, and Doan sort of needs to stay in the DRS range, otherwise he's going to lose touch with Surface at this point in the race. And is he just about? He is just about, and that's kind of what Surface wanted to get out of in the early laps. Get out of that DRS so then he couldn't keep getting dragged back in, because he was nearly just over a second there, just before the DRS detection zone, and unfortunately for him wasn't enough by a couple hundredths, and that's allowed him to be reeled back in again by the Mercedes, and now he's just got to take his opportunity when it's best. And it's going to be them last few laps, really. I don't think the front two have got any penalties. Well, Surface got one for ignoring yellow flags. So did Doan. And so did Connor. Right, that is interesting. 3 of the front 4 have got 5-second penalties for ignoring yellow flags. I don't know how legitimate that is, but it's something that we can take note. Millix has decided to have a spin in his pursuit, and that's probably his end of his race. Connor sets the fastest lap of the race, but could Dario win the race? Could he? By just staying in touch? Because he's only got 1 penalty to his name. I don't think Doan's still in the DRS just about. But Dario is so much quicker than Doan at this point. He's struggling. Is the Bulgarian driver. Going on board with a Pirate on Carsbury. That will probably be a warning for the Pirate, but they both squeezed through just about. As he's dropped off a little bit from that front 5's pace. But here comes the Pirate into Cop's corner. Will he be able to make a move into Cops? He's going to go too wide. This is going to be very interesting. No, he pulls out. It didn't go balls deep. Ooh, only if. And Connor is half a second down on Dario at the moment to make a move. Dario's on the back of Doan, who's slipped out of DRS range. Here comes Dario on Doan into Stowe. will the Red Bull be able to make the move? It doesn't quite get the traction as Doan gets it around the outside. And he's gone deep as Doan. Kind of moving roadblock at the moment. Surface has got out of the DRS range and is going along his merry way now to what looks like it's going to be another victory, unless Dario has anything to do about it, because he's only got 3 seconds worth of penalties. And Wesley has spun and crashed. And now he's down to last. Trying to keep up with everybody. Still plodding along at the front. Wesley has left the session. Could have retired your car before you left, but you know. They're really pushing out there at the moment. It's difficult to decide who's doing what. I mean, Surface is pulling away, but not by a whole load. I know it takes one mistake. And Dario could still win this race as long as he keeps within 2 seconds of Surface. And that's what he's pushing for as he goes around the outside, as he knows that's where Doan got all his traction from the last lap, and it looks like he's going to make the move this time round. Unless Doan can hold it. Oh, and there goes Connor as well. Brilliant move by Connor, by the way. Just to follow Dario through. We just picked his moment, and now Dario's just got to pick up the pace because Surface is off in the distance at the moment. And Connor is going to look to try and make a move on Dario himself, possibly. But Doan's down into P4 with Kalkas just in behind this little bit of a train. And he opens his DRS. Interesting enough, Connor hasn't got his DRS, or he's not using it anyway. Maybe just looking at the overall end of this result rather than... Oh, and there goes Pirate and Carlsberg getting very, very close indeed, as they have been for a few laps, and it looks like Carlsberg just about holding on to the position. We've got Parrish just in behind as well, and them soft tyres are going to try and go side by side through Copse corner. Surely not. Pirate does not fancy that around the outside of Copse. He gives it up. And now Parrish is going to look at the rear of that Haas as Parrish picks up a penalty for running wide. And looking further towards the front, Dario is not catching Surface as much as he'd like to be. And the person I'd fancy most in this situation is Connor, because he has fresh tyres, but he needs to pass Dario to get anywhere near that. And with 5 laps to go now, it's looking unlikely, more and more unlikely, that he's going to make a charge. As he runs a little bit wide there, Parrish has got past Carlsbury for P6 now. Interesting enough, but Carlsbury runs into the back of Parrish, and that's Parrish round. And behind Skin Up as well. As Millix Jr. retires from the session, which leaves us with 9 drivers now. I wonder who's hosting this at the moment, because Blunt went himself. Connor picks up a penalty through turn 1 that pretty much ends any hopes of him doing anything. This race is going to... Ooh. very close to the back of Dario. Hawkins is kind of sitting behind at the moment. Here comes Connor on Dario, possibly into turn 1. And it's fair to say that Surface has got this race won. At this point, though, unless Surface picked up another penalty. No, he's only got 1 warning. Dario's only got 1 penalty, 2 warnings. Connor's just picked up his first. It's fair to say Surfaces deserve this one. But it's been a bit more of a fight than he'd have hoped for, especially that safety car. I think Connor's got DRS problems. He must do, because he's not using it in that Williams. As he goes around the outside, and that's where all the grip is, it seems, because everyone keeps going for the overtake. Dario leaves next to no room on Connor there. And he has to just sit in behind, and it was side by side and probably deserved a little bit of a track to use, but to fair, if I was in Dario's shoes, I'd have done the same thing. So it depends how you look at it. As we're going to turn 2 again for the 24th time. 3 laps to go now of this race. And Kalkas looks like he's starting to get interested. He's still hanging there as Connor and Dario have a bit of contact as Connor overtakes him. These two have got previous. Don't forget, these two will not be afraid to hit hard, but Connor gets past just about. A bit of argy-bargy, I have to admit, but no cigar as Doan is getting out of this slipstream because he does not want to be side-by-side through cops, as Kalkas is using a bit of the grass to get through cops there. I think Dario's going to come under threat from Doan in any second now. Unless Dario's going to go for back on Connor. I don't think he's quite close enough, but Doan might be. To have a look. Maybe not. But he definitely has a chance to have a look into turn 1, possibly, Dario. If he gets close enough. As Carsbury and Skinner are having a bit of a ding-dong for P6. And here comes Doan on Dario. Ooh. Just about squeezed through. I think he just hit the brakes a little bit too late on that occasion. And Kalkas, bless him, is just sitting behind. But there's only so long you can do that as Connor's pulling out the slipstream just to keep the position. I think Dario will be very happy with his race so far if he gets P2. Considering he said he walked, literally just about made the race. He'll take anything at this point. But as we head now onto the last lap, Surface is in a pretty commanding position at this point, and it looks like he's going to romp to another win this season and put even firmer grasp on back-to-back titles here in SLR. And Skinup has overtaken Carsbury, and Parrish has come back apparently. I don't know if they're just trying to make a bit of a battle of it, because Parrish went for a spin earlier. But Kalkas again very close to Doan. Will he possibly look for a move? No. Sticking to P5 at the moment. The Skinup looks he's making his move on Parrish. First yard of the stream. His Carsbury looks to span or something. And we're on the last lap now, and any moves that are going to get done, you need to be really doing them now, especially for Kalkaz's sake, as he's sat there in P5 at the moment. And it doesn't look like the order's going to change. I don't know how it'll change over the line, but Surface has been fairly dominant in this race, in his Renault. Has had a few scares, he's led majority of it, but kind of bolted away after the safety car and pulled the pace out when it was needed, and he wins the British Grand Prix, does the Greek, and claims yet another victory this season. Dario gets P2 with Kalkas somehow making his way onto the podium after penalties from Doan again, and Connor this time in P4 perishes out the race on the last lap. It looks like Skinup's going to get a P6 that he didn't ever think was probably going to be possible. With Pirate in P7, no, Pirate P6, Skinup P7, Carsbury P8. Wow, wow, wow. And only the 9 retirements in that race. That's crazy. So, yet again, Surface claims the victory in Britain. With Kalkas in P3, let's get another 10 points on Surface's tally towards his championship, obviously. And Dario will be very happy with his P2. I mean, no, obviously only 8 finishes, a bit of a nutritional race in the end, especially with no formation lap. Obviously that will be addressed, I'm pretty sure of that. Obviously I'll be here next week. Next week is Germany? I mean, I like to think it's Germany. No. What race was it last week? Austria. Germany, I believe it's Germany. Anyway, these are your results, everybody. So Surface obviously got the win, Dario P2, and Kalkas on the 3rd step of the podium. And yeah, it's been a pleasure to bring it to you today, and we'll be back next week for whatever track it is, I can't remember. But I'll be racing in a moment. It should be a full grid in T2, so it should be an interesting race. So I'll see you soon with Jose and Nadar commentating for you. So thank you everybody for watching. I'm Native7, and I'm out of here. Good night.